Last night, the Microsoft game dev Twitter account posted Xbox at GDC sneak peek alongside 3 black and white photos of what appears to be an Xbox dev kit. That's a console prototype used by developers, which has the same basic internal hardware as the final retail version, but usually an entirely different form factor. However, sharp-eyed commenters were quick to point out that it bears a striking resemblance to the Project.
It looks just like the Xbox One, the original one. What's up everybody, it's your boy Duplates here, back with some more YouTube videos for you guys. Today we're checking out sneak peeks of Project Helix, which is Xbox's next generation, well, Xbox. I should have said Microsoft. Anyway, let's get into it.
With your fix of gaming news. Coming up, Xbox reveals the first details on the next-gen PC console hybrid Project Helix. Fortnite's PvE mode is finally going free-to-play, and if you think Resident Evil Requiem is too scary, well, the director of Resident Evil 2 agrees with you. Let's get into it. We have our very first details on the next generation of Xbox, and our first look at it, maybe? Last night, the Microsoft game dev Twitter account posted Xbox at GDC sneak peek alongside 3 black and white photos of what appears to be an Xbox dev kit. That's a console prototype used by developers, which has the same basic internal hardware as the final retail version, but usually an entirely different form factor. However, sharp-eyed commenters were quick to point out that it bears a striking resemblance to the Project.
It looks just like the Xbox One, the original one. The Xbox, I think it's the Xbox One S or the Slim. Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, it kind of looks like this one. Not this one. I know somebody with this, but it looks more like this.
Scorpio dev kit, which was the prototype version of the Xbox One X. It's totally possible they're using the old case for new hardware, but based on the amount of dust in the photos, it's also possible they're just
it would look like
photos
that
of old hardware to drum up some hype for a device that isn't quite ready to show off yet. But regardless of whether or not these are photos of a prototype version of Xbox's console PC hybrid, codenamed Project Helix, we did get some actual details on what to expect from the next generation of hardware. This morning, Microsoft held a keynote at the annual Game Developers Conference in San Francisco and dropped some specs, or at least some very technical sounding jargon. For starters, as we've heard, the Helix will play Xbox console and PC games, which is pretty cool. It's powered by a custom
I mean, that's the bare minimum, right?
Designed for the next generation of DirectX. It features next-gen ray tracing performance and capabilities, as well as GPU-directed work graph execution. It's been built for the next generation of neural rendering, ML upscaling, and ray regeneration for RT and path tracing. It's got new ML multi-frame generation, as well as neural texture compression and direct storage, plus ZSTD. Did you get all that? If none of it makes any sense to you, rest assured that is not just you. Bear in mind, this is a presentation aimed at people who make games, not just play them. There's no official word on when we can expect Helix to hit store shelves for everybody, but alpha versions of the dev kit will be starting to go out to developers sometime in 2027. So the full version of the thing, probably quite a ways off. The keynote goes on to give an overview of Microsoft's more platform-agnostic approach to gaming,
which would mean it's more than likely not dropping till 2028. If they're only getting dev kits next year, then they're going to need at least, like, I guess, 8 months to a year to record
these days, and the company is continuing to streamline the user experience between devices. So in addition to the new Xbox console playing PC games, future Windows updates will allow PC gamers to feel more like they're using an Xbox if they are so inclined to do. I know PC gamers like to play PCs. Anyway, you can read the full report of everything discussed over at IGN. They talk about quite a bit. Yesterday, we reported the disappointing news that the price of Fortnite V-Bucks is going up, but today, Epic offset that a tiny bit with the good news that the PvE mode Save the World will be free starting next month. Because of how massively popular the free-to-play Battle Royale mode has been since it went live back in September 2017, it is easy to forget that the co-op survival mode Save the World actually launched a few months before that as paid early access. Epic briefly toyed with the idea of making that free-to-play when the full version launched back in 2020, but then opted against it, and it's since been available for about $20. However, starting April 16th, Save the World will be playable for free. As of today, it is no longer available for purchase, but players can pre-register now, and if enough of them do so, it'll unlock some free community goal rewards when the game relaunches next month.
I have no idea what this mode is about, because like he said, everybody's just completely invested in Battle Royale. And then now Fortnite is kind of like Roblox. There's like so many different mini games. I barely even play Fortnite, but there's so many different games you can play. It's
Fortnite
endless.
Save the World is
It's literally
playable on
endless.
everything that Fortnite is currently on, with the exception of smartphones, tablets, and Nintendo Switch 1. And on April 16th, it'll be getting a Switch 2 version as well. And finally, veteran game developer Hideki
Sounds like a hardware limitation.
Resident Evil franchise, having worked as a planner on the very first entry in the series before directing the incredible Resident Evil 2. But fun fact, he's actually not that big on horror games. The Twitter account for Kamiya's current studio showed the developer watching a colleague play through Requiem and offered some color commentary, including that he's been saying for ages they should have a non-scary mode. Somebody points out that would defeat the purpose of a survival horror.
Those games are like horror games, though. The adrenaline rush of not knowing what's gonna happen and when. Kind of like how when you go to watch a horror film, you don't know when the scare is gonna happen. A lot of the times you think it's gonna happen, and then like 2 seconds after, when you think the coast is clear, then they jump scare you. That's usually how it goes with the horror movies, and a game would follow suit. So that doesn't make any sense to ask for a non-scary mode, because it goes against the genre of the game itself.
He wants to enjoy the combat and the puzzles. Kamiya is well known for creating the Devil May Cry series, but fun fact, that actually began as the earliest version of Resident Evil 4 before the developers realized that it was way too cool and stylized to really fit in with the other scary games. So for anybody who thinks that RE4 favors action over horror too much, it could have been a lot worse. Now the real question is, who is cooler and more stylish, Leon Kennedy or Dante? Let me know in the comments. That is your fix for Wednesday, March 11th. Before we go, just a reminder to go follow IGN Finds on your social media platform of choice if you're not doing so already. This was previously IGN Deals, and it's still got the deals and pre-orders you love, but it's also got some news, some product drops.
Alright, let's see what the comments are saying about the Xbox. Hopefully I can feel another Skyrim release. You know, as you mentioned, that the fact that they ported that to Switch 2 and the graphics aren't even as good and it's not maintaining the 60 FPS is a crime. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's that disgraceful that I don't even want to say anything else. Alright, those devices shown as dev kits are the 2 dev kits from Xbox One era, not the new dev kit for Project Helix. I had those kits myself. I was saying they look just like the Xbox One. You know, he literally says that at the start of the video, blah blah blah. Yep. Alright, current gen never even got pushed to the capacity. I say this every reaction video I watch, and they talk about the PlayStation 6 and the next generation Xbox. Folks bought current gen consoles just to play last gen games on them. Yeah, as a PS4 owner, I'm not missing out on much. I'm missing out, but not nearly as much as I should be. I want to play Doki when it releases. Kind of want to play Crimson Desert. What else? What other PS5 exclusives? I guess Spider-Man 2, but I have that on Steam Deck. Yeah, the graphics are low, but I'm enjoying the gameplay. So I have Steam just to cushion the blow a bit for the games that were ported to Steam, which is most of them, to be honest. Almost all of them, except some PlayStation games that didn't make it. But then again, Sony has ported Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and then Spider-Man, and then other things. God of War Ragnarok and God of War 2018, but apparently they're gonna stop now. So yeah, this shit has been pushed to its limits. There's still games coming out that run on 30 FPS because this gen is weak. Hell, Blade 2 really pushed it. Current gen has been capped out on capacity since launch. Blah blah blah. Comparing the disastrous performance of Cyberpunk on PS4 and Xbox One to how smoothly it runs in current gen consoles immediately disproves that comment. Yeah, neural texture compression. Not sure what that is, but it sounds good. Very scientific. Indeed. I don't know what else to say. I think I'm gonna check out some Crimson Desert when I'm done. Yeah, so that's it, guys. That was my reaction to Project Helix, the next gen Xbox. Hope y'all enjoyed. Comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Follow my socials in the description. And I will see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.